I didn't know what I was going to title this video because there is a lot of different topics I feel like that we're going to cover, but they all kind of have to do with the same thing. They all center around Joel Embiid being ruled out for this season. So whatever I made the title and the thumbnail after recording this, thank you for clicking. Thank you for being here. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, man. And the number one thing is Joel Embiid being ruled out, but maybe the possible repercussions of that and a possible way out, you know, for the 76ers. Maybe that's what I'll make the title. Here's the way out. I don't know. But we're going to talk about a lot of things. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button for me one time. I need to let you know first that I have been suspended from live streaming on YouTube for 90 days because I was screen capturing the live scoreboard off of TV for 3 years. And YouTube just hit me now with a 90-day suspension because of a copyright strike. No warning whatsoever. But that's that. We're suspended from live streaming for 90 days. So if you enjoyed the watch-alongs to every Sixers game, and if you enjoyed participating in the post-game lives, they will now be on Twitch, okay? Run It Back Philly on Twitch. Twitch.tv/runitbackphilly. The watch-alongs will be there. The post-game lives will be there. And I will still be posting the recorded version of the post-game live on YouTube. So nothing to worry about as far as YouTube goes. But if you do enjoy joining along live, you got to go join the Twitch channel. We just passed 600 followers over there. I just put it up yesterday, so 600 is crazy. Thank you for that. Get me up to 1,000. Twitch.tv/runitbackphilly. We'll be live tonight for Sixers. Who the fuck are they even playing? I don't know, man. But we'll be there, okay? Let's get down to business, man. The Philadelphia 76ers finally join the rest of us and rule Joel Embiid out for the season. Now, Sixers fans have been saying this for, 3 months, as the team continued to lie and continued to just show how disconnected they are with the overall feel of the fan base and the universe in general. They're just absolutely the most delusional franchise I've ever seen in my life. And even just a couple of days ago, you know, there was reports that the 76ers are not shutting Joel Embiid down. They're committed to seeing this through. They believe they can get into the play-in tournament and make a run for a champion. Like, this is the funniest part about it is when this team says things, we're all like, what? Do they have any idea what's happening? It doesn't seem like the front office or whoever's in charge of things actually knows what's going on. And so they catch up, you know, a little bit later. That's what happens, you know. So they caught up and they said, hey, we need to rule Joel Embiid out for this season. He straight up can't play. We saw it on the court so many times. He can't play. Rule him out for the season. They finally did it. So Joel Embiid is ruled out for the season, and the 76ers front office can stop trying to lie to the fan base about being a playoff contender or anything of that nature, and we can move forward. Now, you know, Joel Embiid, the last thing that came out about his injury was really the nail in the coffin, and that was this, man. Joel Embiid could undergo a meniscus replacement procedure. That's, you know, what Lonzo Ball had, which is a transplant, which is you need to find a donor and literally have another meniscus put into your knee that used to belong to somebody else and then hope and pray that it works right. That sounds crazy. The other option is a procedure where doctors break a bone in the hip to realign the joint and alleviate pressure. What? If these are Joel Embiid's only two options to get back on the court, the possibility of him getting back on the court is looking slimmer and slimmer by the day. And this is what people don't seem to understand. They reply to me all the time and say, dude, he's not going to retire. He has $300 million on the books. My guy, he had surgery last season. That was major meniscus surgery. You understand? There's not a new injury. People think this is a new injury. Oh, he just needs to have surgery and get healthy. He already had surgery. The surgery didn't work for him to be able to continue to play. He still has knee swelling after the surgery. You're starting to hit a dead end, is what I'm saying. People seem to think this is a new injury. He just needs to get surgery and come back healthy. He already had surgery. It's starting to look like a dead end. You're 7 feet tall. You got knee swelling on a meniscus that's been repaired 4 times. It's not looking good. And now the only options are looking like a transplant or a procedure where doctors break a bone in the hip. What? It's just looking like Joel Embiid returning at all is slim. If he does someday, maybe he misses all next season too, and then returns at 32 years old healthy. If he does that, I will never, ever, ever again question his will and drive. I hardly ever question his will and drive anyway. I just think he's a guy that's played the game as hard as he could, and his body is maybe just too big to deal with the impact to the joints on a daily basis. And maybe that's something that we need to come to grips with. I could ramble about that all day, but I want to point this out. On September 30th, 2024, right before the season started, Bleacher Report posted, first look at 76ers Big Three. How far is this squad going? They played 15 games together, and they were 7-8. There's that. Now, speaking of Joel Embiid, having what looks like a slim chance at returning to playing in the NBA, here is something that I was talking about the other day. When I got all the comments about, dude, he's not going to retire. He has $300 million on the books. He's going to limp around for that 3 years and get all that money. Listen, here's what I was trying to tell you guys, and you guys that comment on videos without listening first. The 76ers could petition for medical retirement for Joel Embiid if he's unable to play a year from now. At that point, an independent doctor selected by the NBA and NBPA would examine Joel Embiid. If he agreed he can no longer play, his remaining contract would be wiped off the books for the Philadelphia 76ers. So not wiped off of his books. Joel Embiid would get all of that money. But it could be wiped off of the books as far as affecting the salary cap moving forward. So if it is this tragic of a situation and he doesn't want to get a damn bone chipped out of his hip to do something to his knee, or a transplant that just seems like, the chances of that working in the long run are slim, they could all come to an agreement that Joel Embiid medically retires from the NBA and he would still get all of that money. And it wouldn't affect the Sixers salary cap moving forward. That is a way out for the Sixers. And dude, if that it sucks that we're even talking about this. Now I want to say something real quick before I get to the next topic. And the next topic is a Stephen A. Smith rumor about Daryl Morey possibly being fired and Bob Myers. And then we have a couple of player contract negotiations that the Sixers did that I think is another step towards them intentionally tanking the rest of the season. I want to say this. People hit me up, probably just these Joel Embiid super fan pages on Twitter with the Joel Embiid profile picture that says like Joel Embiid super fan 69 or whatever, you fucking weirdos. They tell me Joel Embiid earned that extension. For those that don't know, the 76ers knew that Joel Embiid was not 100% after the surgery. They knew that he had knee swelling. They lied to the fan base to sell season tickets this upcoming season. They told everyone he was healthy so that they could sell all those season tickets. They straight up scammed everyone out of their money. That's not an exaggeration. And if I was a season ticket holder, I'd be filing a lawsuit against this team. But he then misses the first 9 games of this season. It's clear that he's not healthy. I was telling everyone, they were like, bro, chill out. It's the beginning of the season. I was like, dude, he's hurt. It's pretty obvious that he's hurt, and they're lying. By the way, I was right the whole time. He was hurt, and they were lying, but not to toot my own horn. They knew he was hurt. They signed him to an extension that doesn't kick in until after this season. That's maybe one of the worst decisions I've ever seen a franchise make. There's people that reply to me and say he earned that extension because of everything he's given to this team. Here's the thing, man. Yes, a player putting his body on the line is admirable. A player playing through injury is admirable. But we got to stop acting like basketball players playing hurt cured cancer. We got to stop acting like basketball players playing injured, saved a school bus full of children from falling off of a cliff like Superman with one hand, and they deserve some. They're playing a sport injured, bro. It's, in the grand scheme of things, not that crazy. And I just think that people feel bad for multi-million-dollar athletes. Do I feel bad for Joel Embiid that his body couldn't endure what he wanted to do in the NBA? Sure. But I just think maybe the older I get, I'm seeing the whole world a little bit clearer, bro. It's a sport. It's a player playing injured in a sport. It really isn't even on the top 100 list of important things in the world. So I just want to tell everyone, bro, I think it's crazy that everybody acts like it's some kind of worldly a thing that somebody did to play a sport injured. You know what happens? Here's the thing. People think because he did that, he deserves an extra $200 million, the extension, right? He deserves that extension because he deserves $200 million for the next 4 years while not being able to play. If your boss knew that you were unable to do your job right now, would he then decide to pay you for the next 4 seasons guaranteed? Of course not. We got to stop feeling bad for athletes that have injuries and can't get NBA money anymore. NBA money is insane. You know that, right? Here's my last point on this. Here's what happens to a player if they get injured and can't get NBA money anymore. They go back to the real world like the rest of us. Oh my God, I feel so bad that this person has to live like the rest of the people on the planet and can no longer make hundreds of millions of dollars. It's crazy to me. That's all I wanted to say about that. Let's move on. Let's move on. Give me your opinion on everything. Here's the Stephen A. rumor. I'm hearing rumors. This is what Stephen A. Smith said on ESPN Live. I'm hearing rumors that Josh Harris was very reluctant to sign Joel Embiid to this extension. And Daryl Morey was the one who said we got to do it. If that's the truth, Daryl Morey is in a world of trouble. Now, do I think Josh Harris knows anything about anything and this is true? Probably not. I don't think Josh Harris knew anything about Joel Embiid's injury. I don't think Josh Harris was paying attention at all. I think Josh Harris was probably just like, hey, what's going on with the Joel Embiid extension? He's due for an extension. Should we give it to him? Should we not? Daryl Morey probably said, yeah, he has some lingering issues after the knee surgery, but with rehab and continuing to ramp him up, he'll be healthy, and bam. I think that's why. I find this hard to believe. I do hope it's true, though. And then, Stephen A. mentioned Magic Johnson as, a guy that's in Josh Harris's ear because they both own the Commanders and all kinds of stuff like that. But I think Daryl Morey has done a good job drafting. I think he, finding Maxey was a diamond in the rough. Finding Jared McCain was a diamond in the rough. But I think his trade negotiations and player contracts and things like that are absolute bottom of the barrel general manager stuff. So Daryl Morey's not a guy that you need to keep around. I just don't think that. And I think he's a mathematician who really doesn't know much about building a winning NBA team. And there's a reason he's never been in the NBA Finals. He's just, he gets a star player. He surrounds him with players that played with the 2015 Houston Rockets, and he keeps doing the same thing over and over. And it doesn't work. If Daryl Morey is let go, the Philadelphia 76ers are currently frontrunners to land Bob Myers in a front office role, a league source tells me. So Bob Myers, who was the GM of the Golden State Warriors during those finals runs, and maybe was not responsible for drafting Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, but was responsible for putting the rest of the team together, which featured a consistent top 5 defense in the NBA and featured one of the best benches in the NBA, those 2016, 17, 18, 19 Warriors teams, and then the Kevin Durant signing and all of those things. But I guess just on face value, Bob Myers is a more winning GM and has done it and has won championships, context aside. I mean, I'm ready for a change. I don't think there's some kind of magic answer. Sure, I'll take Bob Myers over Daryl Morey, whatever. The 76ers waived David Roddy. I do I care about that? No. I thought it was pretty interesting that they signed him and were playing him immediately. I thought that was part of the tank job, so I thought they were going to keep playing David Roddy, but it seems like the 76ers are now so committed to tanking the rest of the season. Even David Roddy is too good. And David Roddy, his time on the floor, as far as what I saw, looks like somebody's uncle at a barbecue cookout just playing pickup. Him and Taylor Horton Tucker on the floor together was a sight for sore eyes, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious basketball for the couple of minutes that we got to see it. The Sixers waive David Roddy. They have a new tank commander, Jalen Hood Schifino. So I got to commend the 76ers. You know, they say, hey, listen, we're ruling Joel Embiid out for the season. We're now committed to the tank. Let's do it. Even David Roddy is too good. We got to go get Jalen Hood Schifino to lead the tank into the future. And listen, straight up, Jalen Hood is a fire name, but I don't know anything about him. I have no information on him. It seems to me like they are just trying to get as bad as they possibly can for the rest of the season. And speaking of getting as bad as they possibly can for the rest of the season, the Sixers hope Andre Drummond can have an impactful role the remainder of the season with Joel Embiid sidelined. This is a flat-out lie, and I'm convinced that it's a lie, and I'm not this is a lie, bro. Nick Nurse said, I think Drummond, kind of like it did the other night, should be able to get the 1 or 2, 3 rolls to the rim. What the freak does that mean? Again, I think he was putting a little more pressure on the rim. No, he was not. He should be able to get 1, 2, or 3 putbacks, offensive rebounds. Okay. I thought it certainly was one of his best games of the year, and these are important things. So, I mean, we're basically Andre Drummond has been so bad this season that the only bright spot Nick Nurse can point out is 1, 2, or 3 offensive rebounds. Listen, these guys are not idiots. Andre Drummond has been one of the absolute worst paint defenders maybe in the history of the NBA this season. He is a minus 13 as far as box score plus minus goes for the 76ers. They're terrible when he's on the floor. They can't defend the rim at all. They can't defend the rim with him at center position. They can't defend the rim with Gershon Yabusele at the center position. They couldn't even defend the rim with Joel Embiid on the floor this year. This is why they are 20 and a million, because they flat out could not defend the paint this season with anybody out there besides a Dembona, who Nick Nurse hates to play. So I think they know Andre Drummond is terrible and can't defend anyone, and they are committed to the tank. So maybe we'll see a couple more left-handed hook shot air balls from Andre Drummond the rest of this season. And before I get out of here, I just want to point out something that I found to be fun. Before the season started, Sam DiGiovanni, reporter for some Sixers page, Clutch Points, Sixers beat reporter for Clutch Points, Philadelphia Sports Nation. Anyway, Sam DiGiovanni reported that Nick Nurse said some of the standouts for training camp were Andre Drummond, Caleb Martin, Paul George, Kelly Oubre, Jared McCain, Eric Gordon, and Kyle Lowry. And when you look at that list of players and who Nick Nurse listed as standouts, the only one of them who was actually a standout was Jared McCain, who tore his meniscus. Andre Drummond, ass. Caleb Martin was hurt the whole season and got traded and still hasn't played a game for the Memphis Grizzlies or the Dallas Mavericks. Paul George, more ass. Kelly Oubre, I mean, he's ass, but he's a utility player who shouldn't be playing 30 minutes a game. Eric Gordon, ass and needs to retire. Kyle Lowry, ass for more than one reason and needs to retire. Pause. All of these guys suck besides Jared McCain. And these were the training camp standouts. That's how absolutely putrid this Philadelphia 76ers team has been this season. It's gone wrong in pretty much every way you could have ever imagined, and more so. Anyway, join the Twitch. We will be live there for a Sixers game tonight. The post-game live will be there. The recording of the post-game live podcast will be posted on YouTube and other podcast platforms. And yeah, that's all I got, man. This ended up being a 20-minute video. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.